Welcome to another Odd Pal video. Today I'm going to be talking about the Tudor Prince Chrono 79260 and all the different variations of this watch. I've just gone back from Maruhachi Ramen, which if you remember from a previous video of mine, is a top 3 ramen joint here in Vancouver, BC. They use chicken broth, they have 4 slices of chashu in the ramen, and it's just absolutely delightful. I'll do a bit of a review by the end of this video, but before that, I want to talk about the Tudor Prince Chrono reference number 79260. This watch, I just love it so much. I feel like it is so gorgeous. It really scratches the itch of me wanting the vintage Daytona, and this video is long overdue because I've always wanted to make videos that act as a reference point or benchmark to understanding different, more obscure Tudor reference numbers and to see what changed throughout the years. And having owned this watch for a couple months now, I just feel like this is a good time. And with my understanding, with the help of course, Alberto Isnardi's Tudor anthology book, I think I have gotten the nuances of the 79260, and a major benefit of understanding with these specific reference numbers is so you can date exactly what year a watch was produced in, and also understanding whether all parts on that watch is original. So for example, let's just take like a wild example. You would be able to say like, hey, a 79260 with a tritium dial isn't supposed to have polished lugs. With that being said, let me jump right in. The Tudor 79260 chronograph was first introduced in 1995, and it replaced the big block oyster date before then. After its introduction, there has been a lot of changes made to the watch throughout the ensuing years, leading up to 1999, which then kind of saw a soft renovation for the line, but we'll get into that just a bit here. So the watch was introduced in 1995, the 79260, and right away in 1996, Tudor made 2 major changes to the watch. The first one was that they got rid of the Rolex crown symbol on the crown and instead replaced it with the Tudor shield. However, they did still keep the trip lock 3 dots at the bottom of the crown. The second thing that they did was they changed the oyster date on the dial to say Prince date. So I want to make a quick anecdote. There are oyster dates out there with the reference number 79260. That's not a dial swap, that is a real watch, but it is very rare because for that to have happened, the watch needed to be produced in precisely 1995. So those are the 2 things they did out the gate with the 79260 back in 1996. Now, throughout the period of 1997 to 1998, they also started gradually changing the tritium lume on the dial to Luminova instead. And that's why you can see some dials with just Swiss made at the bottom. Some of them have the 2 T's on the side. That happened in the period 1997 to 1998. It wasn't like an immediate replacement, but it was more so Tudor trying to use up their spare parts, which is pretty common back in those days. And then the 4th thing they changed happened in 1998, which is they replaced all of the oyster bracelets on the 79260 with 5-link Jubilee style bracelets. So with that said, my current reference here, I bought it without boxing papers, but just knowing these factors, I really want to date it to mid-1997 to 1998, as it has Prince Chrono on the dial, it has tritium lume, it has oyster bracelets, and also it has the Tudor shield crown. So after 1998, Tudor decided to do something massive to the 79260 line. In 1999, they decided that from now on, all the 79260 produced will have polished lugs going forward. And that's when the reference number 79260P was born. Now I have some top secret to share. If you recall from a previous video, there's this website that only Rolex and Tudor employees can access that allows them to see which parts can be fitted on which watch. And I got my hands on this photograph here. These are all the dials applicable to the 79260 before the change in 1999. As you can see here, the silver panda dial is here. There's also the reverse panda, which is absolutely gorgeous, such a cool dial. There's the ghost dial, which has a silver dial with white subdials. Now again, armed with this information, it doesn't really do much for me because I really love my silver dial with the black sub dials. But I guess if I was to buy another 79260 and maybe one of the less desirable configurations, then I know I would be able to get the dial swapped into something else. I'll go a little further with the 79260p, even though that's not really a focus that I want to have in this video. With these watches with the polished lugs, they did come on both the 5-link Jubilee bracelet and the leather strap, but they no longer came on the Oyster links anymore. Another thing I want to touch on are the siblings of the 79260. So the 79260 has a tachymeter aluminum bezel insert that is only available in black as far as I know. I don't think there's any like blues out there. And then you have the 79270, which uses a rotational bezel. It is I think it's like trying to be a GMT because the markers are like 0 to 12. It is also with aluminum insert, and this version surprisingly is a little cheaper compared to the 79260 on the market at the moment, which is interesting because the fact that you now have something new to fidget with, which is the rotational bezel, in my opinion it should be a little bit more, but I guess maybe it's not as historically relevant or not as well known. But this is a super cool watch. I think I might add one to the future depending on how big the Tudor collection gets. And then you have the 79280, which is also the other very well-known model alongside with the 79260. This is the version with also the tachymeter bezel, but this time it's on a fixed steel bezel instead. Alright, after that history lesson, we deserve to get ourselves some ramen. So I am at Maruhachi right now. This is the Coquitlam location. There are a lot of different locations across Greater Vancouver. I've personally been to 4 of them. Here is where you can get the very best chicken broth ramen. Here you have 3 types of seasoning. You have your chili flakes, which isn't very spicy. You have your sesame seeds, and you also have their very own special soy sauce that adds the saltiness to the broth if you want it to be a little more saltier, or if you decide to get keidama, which is Japanese word for another serving of noodles. On the menu, you're gonna see a bunch of different things from miso ramen to UBB. Skip all of that. Trust me, you don't want them. They're not good. Go straight to the original chashu ramen. You can either go for the tamago ramen or the base ramen if you just bought a watch and you're feeling the hurt a little bit. It starts at $13.40 and it goes all the way up to just under $20 if you decide to get 4 slices of chashu, which is marinated pork, just like I did here. Overall, I give Maruhachi a 4.8 out of 10. The flavor is absolutely amazing. It just comes a little short of Danbo ramen, which to me is just absolutely unbeatable. Also, the chashu varies from day to day, location to location. Some locations have it absolutely dialed. It just melts in your mouth. It's so just flavorful. But the one I had earlier today was a little on the tougher side, and also the flavor didn't blend in as well. So kind of ducking 2 points from there. But the fact that you can walk in and out of there and be done within 10 minutes, the fact that it is still one of the most elite flavors here in Vancouver, it just has to be top 3. Like, it's probably top 2 in my personal opinion. I think Horan comes a little short of Maruhachi in terms in the flavor department, but I think all 3 of these are absolutely amazing ramen shops to try out. Okay, coming back to talking about the Tudor 79260, I just want to give some of my final conclusive thoughts on the watch. This isn't as much about the variations anymore, it's just my personal thoughts having worn it for 2 months. I can definitively say that it is the proudest watch that I own in my collection so far. Compared to the Black Bay 58, which are a dime a dozen in the market, compared to the Oyster Perpetual 36, which although it is probably even lesser production run than the Prince Chrono, I don't know, something about the Prince Chrono just feels so special. But that being said, I don't wear it as much as I would like to because I don't want to ding it up. And also it is a little chunkier than the other watches I own. It just has a very special place in my collection. And I wear it on special occasions now. Like if I'm going to an event or if I'm going to dinner with friends, usually I strap on the Prince Chrono. With that being said, guys, let me know your thoughts. I hope this has been helpful if you are looking to pick up a 79260, a 79270 with the rotational bezel, or the 79280 with the fixed steel tachymeter bezel. I think now is a perfect time to get them while you can still find them for around $6,000 to $7,000 if you look hard enough. That isn't overly polished, that comes with box and papers potentially. Japan has a lot of them, but also they are in the other parts of the non-English speaking world. So you just gotta do your homework and try to find an example that suits you. And I do really recommend this watch. I think it is probably one of the best automatic chronographs, thinking about like the Speedmaster Reduced and other things like that. I just think it's a wonderful watch to pick up and add to your collection, whether you are a Tudor fan or a neo-vintage fan or just a collector that wants a automatic chronograph in their collection. Make sure to like and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.